Hello, everyone, and today we are going to review the 2020 NASCAR season, which is the season that just went by for those of you who haven't noticed, and I'm recording this in November of 2020, if you're a listener from the future.
Here on Racing with Remy.
Yeah. And today I'm recording with my dad. So, this is the 2020 NASCAR season. Let's start off with the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. The winner was Denny Hamlin, who won on the last lap after Ryan Newman had a big crash where he went in the wall up in the air and got hit in the driver's door by Corey LaJoie. Fortunately, Newman was okay, but that definitely knocked the wind out of him, and he was knocked out for a little while.
Yeah, he had to go to the hospital and didn't race until after the season returned from the shutdown.
Yeah, because of the coronavirus, and it also wasn't its usual schedule. Although the three of the first four races weren't their usual schedule because Atlanta was naturally moved from the second race of the season back.
But, Ryan Newman, he wasn't out because of coronavirus. The entire season was shut down. He was out with injuries from his crash in Daytona.
Yeah. And it was basically on the last lap when Ryan Blaney was trying to pass Ryan Newman so Ryan Blaney could win the Daytona 500. And Newman blocked. I think Newman might have got a little too far in blocking and ended up wrecking himself. Although that was no fault of Newman's there or Blaney's, he had to block to win the race, and he ended up wrecking himself. And Corey LaJoie had nowhere to go. It's no fault of Corey LaJoie either.
So
it was just bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. So what happens when NASCAR moves to the West Coast?
Okay. So the person who won the pole in the Daytona 500 was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now we're moving to the West Coast for the race number 2 at Las Vegas. So it was kind of a boring race, nothing like the Daytona 500, which was actually pretty fun race to watch. This one was kind of boring. The last lap was like the best part of the race. It turns out Joey Logano won with Kyle Busch, who won the pole, and Kyle Busch has not had a good year this year. As a matter of fact, Joey Logano and Kyle Busch are straight-out rivalries, so it's kind of maybe ironic or maybe just a coincidence that Kyle Busch won the pole at Las Vegas while Joey Logano won the race. And this is for the regular season I'm talking about right now. So, the third race of the season is at Auto Club. Alex Bowman won the race, and Clint Boyer won the pole. That one kind of same thing, but was at least better than Vegas. We're moving on to the fourth one, which was at Phoenix. It was a little bit better than the previous two, but still not much going on. And the 500 so far of the four I've been talking about was the best. Joey Logano won again at Phoenix, and Chase Elliott won the pole position. So now we're going to, after the 2 months when they came back on May the 17th, Darlington's 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's right, because it shut down. We all know about the shutdowns in March of 2020. NASCAR was the first sport to really come back in May of 2020. But they kept their races pretty close to the driving distance of where most of the garages are located. They're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Because you said Darlington 1 and 2. They did the first 2 races there at the racetrack in Darlington, South Carolina, which is not a far drive from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah. So in Darlington, the first race, Denny Hamlin won, and Brad Keselowski got on the pole, I think. And in the second race, Kevin Harvick won, and I believe it was Ryan Preece who got on the pole position from the draws.
Yeah, after They came back. Because they did not want to be doing. They did not want to have days at tracks. They wanted to get in, get out, all in the same day. They just canceled qualifying and practices for the rest of the season altogether, and they did a blind draw at first to determine who would get the pole position, and then it changed at a certain point. Somebody in the top 12 in points could be on the pole. It was a little weird, little different, but it's 2020. Everything's been weird and different. All right, so where are we at now, buddy?
Now we are at the first Charlotte race, which Brad Keselowski won, and Kurt Busch won the pole position. Now we're going to go to the second Charlotte race, which was the first race at the Charlotte Roval. There's a road course built into Charlotte Speedway, same thing with Daytona. So anyways, Chase Elliott won the Charlotte Roval, and William Byron ended up getting the pole. Now we're going to go to the next race, which was at Bristol, and Brad Keselowski won that one and won the pole for that race as well. And then we're going to the next race. We finally reached Atlanta. Usually Atlanta's right after the Daytona 500, but that's kind of like a permanent change because the Daytona 500 and the Las Vegas race were back in February before the shutdown started.
So what was next, buddy?
So next up, Kevin Harvick won that race at Atlanta, and Chase Elliott won the pole, so excuse me there. Now we're going to Martinsville, where Martin Truex Jr. won the race, and Ryan Blaney went in the pole position. At Homestead, Denny Hamlin did double the pole and the win at Homestead. And next up, we got Talladega, the Geico 500. It's usually Talladegas are packed with crashes and are lots of fun to watch, but it was actually boring to watch. Pretty much the best part was probably the ending, when they kind of had a big one at the end, but not really. Anyways, Ryan Blaney won that one, and apparently Martin Truex Jr. got on the pole. And now we're going to Pocono 1 and 2. So in the first one, Eric Almirola won the pole position, and Kevin Harvick won the race. And in number 2, Ryan Preece won the pole position due to the draw, and Denny Hamlin won the race. Now we're going to Indianapolis, where Kevin Harvick won the race, and Joey Logano had the pole position. Now we're at Kentucky, where rookie Cole Custer won that race, and it was pretty shocking.
How did that one go? Because I remember that ending was pretty exciting.
Yeah, the race itself was pretty boring, but the ending, I love the ending.
Wasn't it like 4 wide with like 3 former champions? And the rookie there, 22 years old, I think?
It was 4 wide with about 2 former champions. One person who was in the championship runnings, already locked into the playoffs, looking for his first title. And there was one, and Cole Custer was there, the rookie, and with a little help from... And Ryan Blaney started to fall back and helped Cole Custer a little bit, and Cole Custer won. And so, the pole position was won by Kyle Busch.
Gotta say, Cole Custer is the most NASCAR name I've heard in a long time. When you hear a name like Cole Custer, you kind of think NASCAR driver, don't you?
Yeah, kind of. Also, another NASCAR name is Earnhardt. Like, as soon as you hear the name Earnhardt, you know it's NASCAR. Because they had a few legends. Ralph Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and Dale Jr. are some legends.
All right, so where are we at now, buddy?
Okay, so I'm going to count the All-Stars, which don't affect any of the points. So in the All-Star Open, Matt DiBenedetto won. And it doesn't really matter who won the pole for the All-Star Open or the All-Star race. And Chase Elliott won the All-Star race. Now we're moving on to Texas.
Hey, hold on. Before we go to Texas, what is special about that All-Star race?
The special thing about that All-Star race was that...
Do you remember? It was held at Bristol instead of Charlotte, where they've held every All-Star race at Charlotte except for 2 this year in Bristol. And the second All-Star race way back in 1986 was held in Atlanta. Do you remember who won the All-Star race in Atlanta?
Who?
It was Bill Elliot, Chase Elliott's dad. So the 2-1 away from Charlotte have been won by father and son, the Bill and Chase Elliott.
We're going to the Texas race. Austin Dillon won it, and Eric Almirola got in the pole. And there was also it kind of like 2010 and 2010, there was a big one where Tony Stewart got loose and got into Jeff Gordon, and it was carnage from there on after they both got into the wall. And this one was kind of the same thing. William Byron got together with Martin Truex and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch went spinning through the grass. Byron went spinning through the grass, but Byron was sideways, and Kyle Busch took a big ride through the grass, destroyed his splitter, but that's all it destroyed on Kyle Busch's car. And Truex went into the middle of the pack. So anyways, we're going to do Kansas. Perhaps one of the worst NASCAR crashes of all time at Kansas happened this year, with Ryan Preece almost going upside down. Anyways, Denny Hamlin won that race at Kansas, and Kevin Harvick got the pole. Next up, we're going to New Hampshire Raceway, which was kind of a boring race. Brad Keselowski won the race. Eric Almirola got the pole position. Now we're going to Michigan, where Kevin Harvick won that race, and Joey Logano won the pole. Now we're going to the second race of the doubleheader, and Kevin Harvick sweeps the doubleheader, and Chris Buescher won the pole of the second race. And now we're going to the Daytona road course, where Chase Elliott won that race and Kevin Harvick won that pole position. Now we're going to Dover 1 out of the doubleheader. Denny Hamlin won and Chase Elliott got the pole position. Now Dover 2, Kevin Harvick won and Matt DiBenedetto got the pole position. Now we're going to the Coke 0400 at Daytona, which is the last race of the regular season in 2020. William Byron won it, and Kevin Harvick got the pole. William Byron's my personal favorite as of right now. But now we're going to move on.
Before we go into the playoffs, yes, William Byron won it. What else did that also mean?
That meant that Jimmy Johnson was eliminated from the playoffs, the 7-time champion, in his final year. Yeah,
was an 83-time race winner, tied with Cale Yarborough. The 7-time champion, tied for most all time with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. Couldn't break the record. He did not win a race this season, so he could not move up to 84, with the tie with Darrell Waltrip and Bobby Allison. But Hall of Famer, 83 wins, 7 championships. No doubt about it. Jimmy Johnson will be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
All right, now, son, let's move on to the chase for the Cup.
So, in the first race for the playoffs, we have the Southern 500 at Darlington, which Kevin Harvick won and Chase Elliott got pole position. Now we have Richmond, which Brad Keselowski won and Kevin Harvick got the pole position. Now we're going to Bristol, which Kevin Harvick won and Brad Keselowski got pole position. Kind of the opposite of Richmond, like the same but opposite, where Brad Keselowski won at Richmond, but Kevin Harvick got the pole position. And now, if you just switch those two positions around, we have the race at Bristol for the playoffs. Now we're at Las Vegas for the playoffs, where Kurt Busch won and Kevin Harvick got the pole position. Now we're at the playoff race at Talladega, where Kurt Busch was all over the top of Cole Custer. And we had a few big ones where cars went up in the air. And anyways, that was the type of that was the normal type of Talladega. A bunch of big ones, cars going up in the air nonstop. That's what Talladega normally is like. Denny Hamlin, of course, won that and the pole, swept Talladega playoff race for first place and the pole position. Now we're going to the Charlotte Roval in the playoffs, where Chase Elliott won. How good is Chase Elliott at road courses? He won 4 of the last 5 road courses at this point. And now Denny Hamlin won the pole at the Charlotte Roval. Now we're going to Kansas for the playoffs, where Joey Logano won the race and Chase Elliott got pole position. Now we're going to Texas playoffs. Kyle Busch won the race and Kevin Harvick won the pole position. Now we're at Martinsville, where Chase Elliott won the race and Brad Keselowski got pole position.
Now that sets up the Championship 4.
The Championship 4, which turned out to be Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin. I thought Kevin Harvick would have been in Chase Elliott's position in the Championship 4, but not. And also, the championship race, which is usually held at Homestead, was held at Phoenix because of the coronavirus.
All right, so how did that one turn out?
So Chase Elliott won that race and the championships, so congratulations to Chase Elliott. And Chase Elliott even got the pole position. Chase Elliott was basically leading Phoenix the entire way.
So, what do you think of Chase Elliott winning the championship?
I think that's a surprise win, mostly because I thought he would be outside of the Final 4. I thought he would be 5th place.
Yeah, but remember, in the chase, if you in the 3 rounds before the cut, if you win one of those 3 races, you automatically advance to the next round. That's why Joey Logano and Chase Elliott were in. So I was a little surprised that, and it was wound up being, I think, 1 position was the difference between Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin getting the last spot.
Yeah, I thought that if anything, Kevin Harvick, the biggest surprise winner would be Joey Logano or Brad Keselowski, the 2 Penske teammates, but no, it was Chase Elliott.
All right, well, so that is Remy, Racing with Remy. He recapped the 2020 NASCAR Cup season. We want to just mention a few other things here. Yeah, NASCAR has a bunch of series, many of them televised. The Gander Truck Series champion this year was a guy named Sheldon Creed. The Xfinity Series champion was a man named Austin Cindric. There was also the ARCA Series that Remy mentions he wants to cover on here, was won by Brett Holmes this year. IndyCar, another very famous series, was won by Scott Dixon. And Formula One, their season is not over, but Lewis Hamilton has already clinched the Formula One championship, its 7th Formula One title, tying him with Michael Schumacher for the most all time. Now, I think at some point Remy is going to do something like he did with the Cup Series here, where he goes through some of these other series and looks up their winners and pole winners for us. Those will be later episodes, I'm sure, because we have a long time before Speed Weeks in February. All right, so Remy, what do you want to do next week here on Racing with Remy?
So next week, I've decided that I want to do the worst NASCAR crashes of the 1990s. There's going to be some crazy ones like Steve Grissom, 1997 at Atlanta, and Ricky Craven, 1996 at Talladega. But anyways, I'll see you next week. You can find us on Spotify if you search Racing with Remy. And I think we're on Apple Podcasts too at Racing with Remy. And I think we're on some other podcast platforms like Google Podcasts.
Not yet, buddy. We will be soon. We're trying to get on a bunch of other podcasts. I know right now we're on Spotify and Anchor with Racing with Remy. Yep. And you can go to either one of those. And also, I believe Mommy added you to our withmywifepod.com, didn't she?
Yeah, and we might even be on Pocket Casts or Overcast, maybe.
At some point we will be. We are not there yet, but our first 2 episodes, it took a little of our other podcasts took a little while to get onto more podcatchers. So we'll see you next week when Remy reviews the worst NASCAR crashes of the 1990s. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody, and stay tuned.